Hello, folks. We are almost at a new season of Flyers hockey. Very exciting time. Always love the fall. Get that that crisp fall air in. Get some hockey. And if you're like Ryan Gilbert and I, you might like getting a little bit of action in on the Flyers too. Okay, and just be completely upfront about this. I do know that gambling can be a problem for quite a few people. So please gamble responsibly. We are not talking about putting your mortgage payment down on any Flyers bets here. Okay, this is just fun little stuff here and there. All right, please be responsible about all this. But that disclaimer out of the way, we are going to get into it. And I like putting a little bit of action here and there, and I know Ryan Gilbert is much better at this than I am. So I am excited to talk about some of the Flyers, more intriguing Flyers bets we could get into this season with Gilbs. How you doing today, Gilbs?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Like the market seemed down on the Flyers this season. And I feel like the media seems down on the Flyers this season as well. And after some of the news we got on Monday morning that Cam York might be out, it might be for a good reason because we already saw the defenseman being quite thin. But there's definitely some bets to be had on the Flyers. But as Steve said, stressing gambling is everywhere now. Sports betting is everywhere. It's a problem, and don't make it a problem. So be responsible, bet what you can, and if you're not a better, there's still some good info in here for you, or just skip it over. No offense taken.
No offense taken at all, but we also are, full disclosure, you can see the logo on the screen here. We are sponsored by FanDuel on this, and most of our odds, if not, I believe all of our odds are coming from FanDuel today. Lots of good NHL stuff to be found on there. So thanks to FanDuel for sponsoring the show. But yeah, I think let's get into it because, as you said, the media and the gambling community and everything seems to be real down on the Flyers. And look, I understand, right? We watch this team every day. We are on the ground level. We follow every transaction. We see every play for this damn team. So I think, are a little bit biased here, but I do feel like the Flyers could surprise some people this year. That said, team points for the Flyers is listed at over under 81 and a half. So people are thinking the Flyers are going to be in the 80, 81, 82 range. And look, they finished fourth worst in the league last year. So this does make sense. It's minus 110 for either over or under at 81 and a half. Do you think this is a fair number, Gilbs?
I It's probably around fair. Yeah, last year they had 76 points. The year achieved with Tortorella that year, I think they had 87 points. So right smack dab in the middle of that. I do think this number has come down a bit since over the summer. I think I remember it being at 84 and a half. So come down, 3 points there. And I think, we are Flyers fans, obviously, but I think they have to get 82 points, right? Like looking at last season, 23 teams got 82 points. The Islanders got 82 points. The Penguins got 80 points. Like the Flyers, I think, have to be 6 points better at least than they were last season, with an improved backup goalie, Dan Vladar, with a power play that is not just complete garbage. Another year for Michkov, Zegras in there. Like I feel like the over 81 and a half has to be the play here. And, maybe that's just my orange tinted glasses, but I think even just, objectively, I think it's a good look.
Agreed. I think it just makes sense. The improved power play, I think, is going to be a huge difference maker for this team. Were they the league's worst last season?
I believe they were the league's worst last season. I don't have it up in front of me, but that's just what I assume it's been over the past few years.
They were, if not the worst, they were definitely near the bottom. It was an abysmal power play. Just horrible to watch. Like a team that's actually worse with an extra man than down a man. Like their penalty kill, I think, probably scored more than the power play did at the end of the year. And I think that's going to be a big factor this year. And granted, I will miss like Brad Shaw's influence, right, with that
Mhm.
power kill mentality and how he had them play defense. But at the same time, I think I'm going to be really intrigued by how this new defensive system plays and if it improves the goaltending, because there could be an argument made that John Tortorella's style of block every damn puck was actually a detriment to the goaltender sometimes, where they either weren't getting enough work, or sometimes, you get those wacky deflections off your own team's sticks. And I think it's probably for the better of the goaltender most of the time if they can clearly see the shot that they're trying to stop.
Yeah, you hear goalie analysts talk about Jason Martinez, Brian Boucher on their broadcast. Like they say, just let me see the pucks that I can see. Let me do my job. Just get the players out of the way, because you don't want those pinballs to bounce in off a skate or bounce in off two guys. Those can make it harder, and those can definitely deflate a goalie. Especially, we know goalies are crazy, especially the ones Flyers have had. They can have one goal go in and then two or three more right in there behind it. So yeah, I like Tocchet's defensive system, that the box plus one. It may take some time to get into it. We might see some struggles early on, but I mean, going back to the power play, it's looked fantastic in the preseason. Like last season, we're going on the Pico power play. It's just like deflating, and now it's at least somewhat exciting. You got Michkov and Zegras working their magic on the top pair, the top unit. The second units look good as well. I think Sanheim has a power play goal or two there, so power play can hopefully be exciting. And if you can get a power play, a goal in a big spot, that can definitely turn the course of a game.
Yeah, it absolutely can, and I think that's going to be a big factor for the Flyers. So I also agree. I think the over at 81.5 is the play there if you are going to go with this bet. Now, some of the other tiers I would not be as optimistic about getting into. The one I would consider, and this is if you're a true optimist, this is if you are thinking everything clicks, the goaltending is going to be league average. I like that's everything hitting.
I would we'll throw a parade, Broad Street Hockey parade, if the goaltending is league average or better.
Absolutely. If the goaltending's league average, if the power play is league average.
Just the average. That's all we want. We want mediocrity.
And then you get like Zegras of old, and you get Michkov leveling up another year, and Konecny can play a full year, right? 90 plus points. The odds are plus 230. Not a terrible bet here. I think it's possible. Like I truly believe that this team could sneak into the playoffs. I don't think it's likely, but I think it's something that can definitely happen. And if they're going to do that, they're going to score 90 points. So a bet for 90 plus points at 230 is basically a bet for the Flyers to make the playoffs. How are you feeling about this one?
Essentially, yeah, and we'll get to it. You can get the playoffs at a better price. I would probably rather play that. But looking last year, the Blue Jackets had 89 points. They missed the playoffs. If they had 90, they would have missed the playoffs. So you have a little bit of wiggle room there. The Devils, with all their injuries, had 91 points. Canadians had 91. So I don't see why the Flyers can't take a Canadians-like jump. They might not have a Nick Suzuki that at a 1C, but they have a young Russian who's pretty good, like Demidov and Michkov there. So yeah, 90 points I think is probably the highest I would go. And I threw these other 100 points, 110 points, President's Trophy in there just to have a few laughs here.
Oh yeah, 100 points plus 900. Damn.
Not nearly enough. Plus, no. Give me 90 to 1, and I might take it instead of 9 to 1.
Absolutely. 110 plus points, only plus 4,000.
That's crazy, because then you have the President's Trophy there at plus, what's that, 20,000, which is 200 to 1. Like, that's 5 times better. And if they get 110 points, they're going to be right up there for the President's Trophy. Have to.
Right. And that would take them kind of having a miracle year like the Caps did last year, where the Caps were inexplicably the best team in the league. They were, they won the President's Trophy last year, right? And nobody could explain it. And you actually look at...
they came second. The Jets.
Oh, they came second. You're right. You're right. You're right about that.
First in the East, though. So, they were up there the whole season.
They were up there the whole season, and they were not a team that expected to be up there. People are not expecting them to get back there this year. If you look at all the smoke around the Capitals this year, I think the Athletic had them not even as one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the Metro after they almost won the entire league last year. So I'd be interested in something on the Caps, but I'd also hate the Caps, so I don't want to talk about the Caps at all.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of a path for the Flyers to get 100 plus points. I guess it's Konecny has his first half of last year for the whole season. The Michkov Zegras chemistry is really works together.
We're talking about Michkov being a second year animal this year.
Yeah, 100 points for Michkov. Goaltending,
50 goals.
Goaltending. Sam Harrison can be a 900 goalie. Vladar 910. Everything comes together, because that's what happened for the Capitals. Their off-season gambles work. They got Logan Thompson, he was great. They got Pierre-Luc Dubois, he was great. Jacob Chikrin, I don't think the Flyers have players at that level they brought in this season. So still, 2 or 3 years away from being 2 or 3 years away, as is here in Flyers land.
I feel much better about this 2 or 3 years away
yeah.
than I have in previous ones, and it all has to do with Matvei Michkov and Porter Martone. But having two studs in the system really does help. But I would not go with this President's Trophy one. But if you're feeling spicy, you find $20 on the street or something that you just need to put a bet on the Flyers, I guess that's the one to go with. But ultimately, I think if you want to do something that's a little fun, that keeps a little bit of interest in the season for you, I would go with that 90 plus. I think that's probably the highest I go points total wise.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think the over 81.5 is the best bet there. But if you want to spice your price at plus 230, I think 90 points isn't a bad gamble there.
Spice up your life, baby. Next up, we have playoffs / stage of elimination, which I haven't really seen it phrased like this before, but I like it. So the Flyers to miss the playoffs is the overwhelming odds right now. People are picking the Flyers to miss the playoffs for good reason. Minus 350, absolutely not worth your time. Unless you're putting down a ton of money on that, which I wouldn't, because that's no fun. It's no fun to say the Flyers aren't going to make the playoffs. Just don't bother with this.
No, and there's such a wide range of outcomes that I think that's too high of odds. I feel like the Flyers are getting disrespected in these playoff odds, especially in the Metro, because the Metro is just so bad.
It's honestly, that's where I feel like people I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when people are talking about like, well, there's no way the Flyers can make the playoffs in the Metro. The Metro ain't great. All right. Like the Devils are one of the best teams in there and the Devils suck. So like, come on. Like, what are we talking about? Carolina, they can't even afford to pay their players. Give me a break. Come on. The Rangers, the Penguins.
They're old. No,
they're old.
Penguins are tanking. We hopefully the Penguins make the playoffs so they don't have a chance at the number 1 pick.
Yeah. I don't want McKenna and the Penguins at all. That would just be terrible. But yeah, minus 350 for the Flyers to miss the playoffs. Now, the more interesting one here is, and we just referenced this when we talked about the point total. So 90 plus points was plus 230. Make the playoffs is plus 270. I like this much better than 90 plus points.
Yeah, I like that a lot better as well. That's 40 cents better on the price, plus 270 opposed to plus 230. But what I like even better, and I may recommend people to bet this if they like the Flyers, is to get eliminated in the first round.
Baby!
At plus 470. That's $2 better on the price there, a much better odds. And if the Flyers make the playoffs, they're sneaking in and they're playing one of these top dogs in the first round, and you're just hoping they win a game, let alone the whole series. Like eliminated first round plus 470 might be one of my favorite Flyers bets on the board.
Yeah, because if they're going to make it, they're getting smoked by Carolina or somebody. It's just how it's going to happen. Carolina, Toronto, Tampa Bay.
The Devils. Devils. Yeah, they'll sneak in for the third spot. Devils be second. And
Florida.
Smoked.
I didn't even throw Florida in the mix. The Florida Panthers, who they're playing their first game against, is a team that could very easily smoke them in the first round. So, yeah, the Panthers are having one of those classic years where all their best guys are going to be hurt, but they're still going to have a great regular season, get into the playoffs, and then, oh, look, Alexander Barkov's here. Oh, look, Matthew Tkachuk is here. Oh, let's just destroy the poor Philadelphia Flyers in the first round now.
Yeah, that's how it's going to go for the Panthers. They're going to be like, oh, the Panthers aren't going to be good this year. They're not going to be good. No Barkov, no Tkachuk. And then they'll hang around, they'll make the playoffs, and they'll go on another run.
Plus 470 is fun. That is a fun bet right there. Now, I wouldn't recommend anything after that. Conference semifinals elimination is plus 1,500. Conference finals is plus 3,500. Cup final is plus 10,000. And winning the Stanley Cup is way too low. 17,500. That is like, Disney's got to make a movie about this team if that happens.
They have a better chance to win the Stanley Cup than win the President's Trophy, apparently, according to these odds here from our great friends at FanDuel, which, sure, I guess they can sneak in and go on a run as the late wild card. Sam Harrison turns into a brick wall, but like...
And Matvei Michkov is just like,
Nikita
Bobby
Kucherov.
Clark. Yeah.
So, they're unfortunately not winning the Stanley Cup this year. They're not going to win. If they win one round, that's like a huge reason for celebration. So making the playoffs, I think, is the main goal here. As a team, obviously there's player, we want to see players progress, but as a team, I think making the playoffs, things have to go well there.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, out of that category again, I think we like first round elimination the best easily. You can get you can make a little bit of bang for your buck there.
Yeah, and if they make the playoffs and they're underdogs in the first round, just you can bet against them a little bit and guarantee profit. Like you can work something with that come around the playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's move on to some of the individual Flyers bets that we could have here. And these are always fun ones to have some goals for your favorite Flyers to maybe hit during the season. I did a few years back, baseball-wise, I had when Bryce Harper won the MVP in spring training, just on a whim, on a Saturday afternoon, I threw down that bet for Harper to win MVP. And months later, what a glorious payout that was.
I could imagine. Yeah, early on, he probably hit like a spring training home run. You're like, all right, Bryce Harper MVP. Let's see what it's at.
Yeah, I don't always hit with these long term ones, but I hit that, and I had the Eagles in the Super Bowl last year, which
wonderful.
Oh man, and I got like a booster on that too. Oh, it was beautiful, absolutely nice. $300, $300 on $10 down for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Can't beat that.
Fantastic.
But I don't know if we have one of these here for the Flyers this year, but unfortunately our friends at FanDuel did not have a ton as far as the goals go for the Flyers. I'm not sure why Matvei Michkov and Trevor Zegras weren't really included in goals totals, but Travis Konecny did make it. 30 plus goals minus 165. They're really confident that TK, who finished under 30 goals last year and was second on the team last year, is going to hit 30 plus goals. How are you feeling about that one?
Yeah, I wouldn't bet that at minus 165. I'd bet it if it was a plus number, maybe. Like you said, 24 goals last year, shot 12.8%. So it wasn't like that's above his career average of 12.6, but did have 33 and 31 the 2 years before that. We'll see who he's playing with this year because it looks like it's not with Michkov to start the year, but maybe that helps him out a little bit. Power play should be better, but I think 30 is like a goal for Konecny to reach. It's not expected after last season. I think if there was a line to get to his points, he had 52 assists last year. I could see like maybe a point per game player out of him, but 30 goals might be a little bit much for Konecny, especially because he's not like the guy on the power play. Like I feel like he was the guy on the power play a few years ago. So yeah, I would not bet him to get 30.
No, I wouldn't either. And I think the other factors in there are the fact that like Michkov is now like your main goal producer, right? Like he led the team last year. He's only going to get better. He just shoots every chance he gets. He's a maniac and I love him. And you've also got Tyson Forrester, who scores a lot of goals on this team. Owen Tippett is a guy who can score a lot of goals on this team. Trevor Zegras could definitely put the biscuit in the basket. You've got other guys who can score on this team. So I'm not even sure if I like TK for points totals this year a lot. I don't know about goals. And if odds do appear for these other guys, like I really like Matvei Michkov for getting 30 plus.
Yeah, Michkov he had 26 last year. He's looking so much better this year in preseason. He had the game tying goal in one of the early games there. He might be trying to get too cute a little bit too much with Trevor Zegras, but he'll get his goals. He will get his goals there. He's goalies have to play the pass, have to play the shot, have to play the Michigan. Like he had 26 last year while playing for John Tortorella. Horrible power play. I think he gets 30.
I think so also. I feel really good about him hitting 30. I don't think that sportsbooks though are going to give you a big old special for hitting 30, unfortunately. Like I don't think anybody's giving you a plus odds for that, so if you do see a special out there for Michkov, if you can get like a booster on that, do it, because I really like Michkov for hitting 30 this year. I feel very confident in that.
Yeah, he should get 30 and then just ramp up from there the rest of his career, hopefully.
Now, if you want to go true sicko mode with Michkov, my favorite is to go with him for the Rocket Richard. That's where you go. And if I'm scrolling, you have plus 30,000 odds for Michkov hitting the Rocket Richard.
Yeah, 300 to 1. If you bet $1, you get a 300 back there. So
Why not? It's a buck.
Yeah, because how many goals won it last year? Trying to look that up now. The NHL site is not working for me. So I think it was around 50-ish. I forget who won it last year. I think it was Draisaitl. I think he had,
Draisaitl's the favorite this year on FanDuel. He's
yeah,
plus 310 currently.
yeah, he had 52, and then Nylander had 45. So Michkov could get to that 45, 50 range, if everything breaks well for him. I imagine he'll get close to 50 at some point in his career. Why not now? Why not now? Why not at 300 to 1?
Why can't us? Why can't us?
Yes.
And I want to touch on the awards later on, but yeah, because I think there's a couple interesting bets you could have for non-flyers as far as the awards go. So
yes,
we can touch on that when we get to it. But let's finish talking about these individual flyers. So Michkov, I like for goals, anything over 30 if you can. If you see Zegras out there, I don't think you're going to get great for 20 plus, but 30 plus could be real spicy with Zegras. I don't feel like he's going to hit that. I like him better for the point totals bets, but I do think Zegras is an intriguing factor this year.
Yeah, Zegras I think could have another great season. I mean, his career high though is 23 goals in back-to-back years there when he had 61 and 65 points. So I agree with you. Yeah, I think points is going to be the way to go for Trevor Zegras. But if you want to throw something on 30 for him at like a 10 to 1 or better price, like that, he could definitely hit that. If he becomes the scorer and Michkov becomes more of the assist man, he can get 30.
That would be a surprise, but a welcome one. For sure. So goals, the other guys I could think of would be Forster or Tippett. Tippett I'm real down on right now. Tippett's got to prove a lot to me. I picked him last year. I had a special on one of the sports books for Michkov and Tippett to combine for 60 goals. Yeah. And Michkov fulfilled his part of the deal for sure, but Tippett not so much. I thought Tippett was going to hit 30 plus last year for sure, and it just feels like he regressed. It's feeling increasingly like his place on this team, I don't really know what it is, and it's a little bit murky. So Forster at 30 is intriguing. I wouldn't, but if you get good enough odds, that might actually be worth it.
Yeah, Forster had 25 last year, 20 the year before. So if you can get him for 20 or 30, if that's out there, that could be worth getting. And yeah, Tippett, it just seems everyone is down on Tippett. 20 goals last year, which is still a decent number for, a middle six winger. But after having 28, 27 the year before, I was listening to Flyperbole, and Ryan Quigley took Bobby Brink over Owen Tippett for points this season, which shocked me because I think I love Bobby Brink, maybe even more than Quigley. But I mean, I think Tippett has a big year. We'll see where he fits in the lineup, but I think once he finds his spot, Tocchet likes him. Tocchet wants him to play offensively. He could be the trigger man on the power play. I could see Tippett getting 25 or 30.
I could see that for sure. I mean, Tippett's a super talented guy. It's just a matter of consistency.
Yeah.
And the thing about what I really like about Forster heading into this year, and granted, he is coming off of an injury, but it's that chemistry he developed last year with Noah Cates and Bobby Brink, and seeing that line together in preseason, that magic is still there. And the thought of having that line together for an entire season, I think is what makes that really an intriguing bet for me if you see him anywhere. But I'm not currently seeing him anywhere. So if you do, I like Tyson Forster for 30 plus if you can get it.
Yeah. We all got typho fever over here.
Yeah, we got typho fever out the wazoo for sure. Now points, this is where I think you could spend some good money right here. So Matvei Michkov, we'll start with Michkov. We got some tiers for him right here. Okay. 60 plus points, minus 280.
Keep going up. Keep going.
We're not messing with 60 plus. 70 plus, that's where we start.
Here we go.
Okay. Plus 100 at 70 plus. So, right? Yeah, that's fine. 80 plus 270. All right. Now we're cooking with gas a little bit.
Okay.
90 plus. That's a spicy meatball right there. Plus 750. We haven't had a flyer hit 90 plus points in forever. It would be amazing. And it feels like if there's going to be a guy who does it, it's going to be Michkov.
Yeah, it'll be Michkov before long. It could be Konecny. Konecny could do that this year. But yeah, Michkov there at plus 750. I think my favorite there, I like 70, even money there, and 80 at plus 270. It's going to take him a few years to get acclimated to the league, but, because I'm looking up at Kucherov, his early years, he had, 65, 66, and then 85. So it might take a few years, especially, on this team. But if 63 last year, got the power play going. You have a coach that doesn't hate him, so he could get 80.
He could definitely get 80. I feel pretty good about it. So I would go for 80 if you're going to go for Michkov on points this year. We've seen the over under elsewhere at 67 and a half. So in that range, I'm definitely thinking over because that's what he hit last year. So makes sense. So I'm big time on the over. I'm big time on Michkov this year.
Yes.
Now TK, we just brought up Travis Konecny, 70 plus points. He should hit 70 plus points. I'd be very disappointed if he didn't hit 70 plus points. That's minus 135 on FanDuel. 80 plus points is only at plus 195. And he's never hit that, and he should have last year. He was on a 90 plus pace in the first half of the season. And then after the Four Nations tournament really slowed down. So TK, I mean, he's probably going to the Olympics this year. So you have to think about that.
Is he?
Is he? I don't know, but you have to think he might. One of him or Sandheim is probably going, but if he does, consider that when you're factoring this in because he really did slow down in that second half. But it was also under John Tortorella, who there was a noticeable effect on this team every year under Tortorella that the team was much better in the first half than the second half because they were all exhausted from playing under John Tortorella.
Yeah. Yeah, last year, Konecny had 58 points in his first 51 games through January 27th. And then he had 18 in his final 31 games there, some quick math. So, yeah.
He could not score a goal.
He could not score a goal. He was clearly injured. He admitted after the year he emptied the tank to make Four Nations because he knew the team wasn't being competitive. So, really like him at 70 plus, minus 135, 80 plus though, plus 195, I think would be a good bet there for Konecny. I think that's a realistic goal for him this year is to be a point per game player. And people are sleeping on him. He's been good in the preseason. And people are like, oh, who's playing with Zegras and Michkov? But Konecny and Couturier have been this team's duo in the top six for years now. And I think he's going to keep it up this year.
Yeah, I agree there. I like 80 plus a lot. If you're feeling spicy, 90 plus at 600, it's interesting. That's only if you're feeling spicy.
You could get there. Yeah. But yeah, that's a spicy meatball right there.
That's a spicy meatball. Finally, Trevor Zegras, I think your most intriguing points player by a mile. I think the most intriguing player on this team because they bought so low on him for a guy that's so talented that he could be one of the biggest steals in franchise history if he works out. So currently, some of the other sports books have an over under 52.5. I like the over on that a lot. FanDuel has him at 50 plus points minus 230. It's not worth your time. Don't bother with that. 60 plus points plus 135. It's okay. 70 plus points plus 370. Now, what's Trevor's career high, Gilbs? Do you have that in front of you?
His career high, he had 65 in 2022-23, 61 the year prior to that.
So 70 would be above his career high. So this is saying the Zegras experiment has worked out monumentally well. If he is a 70 plus point player, that is a huge steal for the Flyers. And that means his chemistry with Michkov and Konecny has worked out. And he's already shown, I know we said that Michkov has gotten too cutesy with him at times, but overall, they have shown a really, really interesting chemistry so far. So I'm very intrigued by 70 plus points for Zegras. It would be a career high, but I think it's doable. 80 plus points, I wouldn't. That's plus 950. I'd stay away from that one. If you want a spicy over plus 500 bet, I go with Konecny or Michkov at 90 plus, but I would not touch Zegras at 80 plus yet.
No, Zegras 70 plus at plus 370, I think is pretty good. I think that's too high of odds for him because last year ended the season with 16 points in 23 games in March and April there, coming back from a knee injury. Seems to be rejuvenated, enjoying Philadelphia, possibly spotted by Steve Jacot right here himself. So, I like Zegras here for 70 at plus 370.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So let's just take a quick look at some of the awards and such out there. So Talkit is not, they don't have Jack Adams odds on FanDuel for some reason. Hopefully that kicks in at some point.
It's Jack Adams is not bettable in Pennsylvania for some reason. So our
What?
listeners in New Jersey or other states, or if you can find a way to bet it, yeah, I think middle of last season or the year before, like they just shut the market down, refunded everyone's bets.
Oh
I
wow.
don't know, some sort of law or something. So yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
The anti-coach betting law, of course. We all know
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go over the bridge and place that bet real quick. It's really easy. That's some true. This is the degenerate stuff I'm talking about when I say to be responsible. Crossing the bridge to make a bet is a true sign of an issue. Don't do that. If you're considering doing that, don't. Okay. But if you're over in New Jersey and you really want to place a bet on Tocchet to win the Jack Adams, which if the Flyers make the playoffs, it's a friggin' crime if Tocchet doesn't win the Jack Adams. Plus 2,500 odds right now. So that's a great bet. That's a slam dunk if you really believe in this team.
That's my favorite Flyers bet. I think that's available. Like, and he might even be my favorite Jack Adams bet in the entire league, because the Jack Adams is given to a coach that people like and of a team that overperforms. We see the Flyers are not supposed to make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, Tocchet should get a lot of credit for that. And you're getting 10 times the price for him to win the Jack Adams. And he has friends in the media, just worked for TNT. He won the Jack Adams a few years ago. People know who he is. The player's coach. He's a person. He's a people person. Like, people like him, and that matters. So 25-1, I feel like is a fantastic bet to throw, $5-10 down on, and you can see what happens.
Into it big time. Absolutely into it. Do we like anybody for cup winner right now? I mean, I'm looking it over. Obviously, the Panthers are the favorite, 750. Avalanche at plus 1,000 are interesting. Vegas at plus 950 is interesting. I hate to say it, New Jersey at plus 1,400 is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think I like the Stars the most. I'm not sure what they are.
The Stars are not, is it 850 or
plus,
950?
Plus 850
yeah.
At FanDuel there. I like the Stars, but a tip for some bettors out there, like, these odds aren't going to get shorter. Like, even if they win the President's Trophy, they're not going to be that much shorter. So find a team in season to bet for these Stanley Cup odds. But yeah, if I had to stake my claim right now, Stars at plus 850. Also, I think the Minnesota Wild could be a sneaky one down there at 27-1. They got Kaprizov. Ooh. Gustafsson is great in net. So, but yeah, it's going to be one of these top 5 or 6 teams that is always in contention.
For sure. So not the funnest one for Flyers fans this year. This isn't like putting the Eagles down in preseason when they were at their lowest to win the Super Bowl. And then, of course, they dominated in the Super Bowl, beat the crap out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Go Birds. But let's talk about some of the individual awards. So the Hart Trophy, Konecny, Zegras, and Tippett are all at plus 50,000 and no Michkov odds offered.
What do they know? What do they know, Steve? Why are they not letting people bet on Matvei Michkov to win the Hart? Do they know that he's going to win it? And they don't want to lose. They don't want too much liability on that. I think that's what it is. So what could be the other reason? What could be the other reason?
I don't know. That's the only reason, because it doesn't make sense, because we all know Matvei Michkov is a straight up stud over here. He is a stud. Looking at the Hart Trophy, guys, I mean, obviously McDavid's on top. McKinnon is up there. Kucherov, Draisaitl at 950, kind of intriguing. Kaprizov at 1,100. We do like Kirill the Thrill. Mm-hmm. Austin Matthews plus 1,900. Kind of interested in that. If the Leafs do have a killer year without Mitch Marner, I think you have to, really consider Austin Matthews in there.
That is possible. I would like to see what Matthews' Rocket Richard's odds are when we get to that. I do like Kaprizov, though, quite a bit at 11-1. Also like potential future Flyer Jack Eichel at 27-1. He has Mitch Marner on his line now. He kind of
we gotta shift our gaze. We're seeing reports today that McDavid
is re-signing. So he doesn't have a contract year up anymore. So don't take him for the Hart. He got paid. He's gonna just sit back and coast now. But yeah, Kaprizov at 11-1, Eichel 27-1. Kind of in line with my Stars bet is Mikko Rantanen at 65-1. If he has just an insane season. But I think that could be, too far spread out. They have Robertson, they have Wyatt Johnston, they have Rupe Hintz. So unless Rantanen, has over 100 points, but 65-1, I don't hate that.
Yeah, don't hate that at all. So the Calder, not really any Flyers in the mix. Jet Luchenko. very outside odds, plus 30,000. So
Which is that's insane, by the way. Like other players at 30,000 are Porter Martone, who is playing in college, Jake O'Brien, um, like these other guys. Like he should at least be plus 75 to 1, 50 to 1. Like Berkeley Cadden is 70 to 1, Rucker McGroarty is 60 to 1. He should be in that range. So like if you want to throw a dollar on it, he works his way up throughout the lineup throughout the season, maybe plays with Michkov at some point. I don't think he has a real chance, but he has better than 300 to 1 chance.
Yeah, I agree with that. And looking at the guys at the top, I mean, Demidov's the clear favorite right now at plus 180, and don't even bother. But I'm surprised Michael Misa is only plus 1100. That's a really interesting one right there.
Yeah, I mean, Celebrini was second or third in voting last year. Michael Misa joins him now. Misa had 134 points in 65 games last year in the OHL. I think he's starting on like the third line for them. And he's a second line center here, not on the top power play unit, so don't really like that about Misa. I do like Jimmy Snuggerud at 11 to 1. He's playing top line with Robert Thomas and Buchnevich in St. Louis. He joined the team late last year, had a good playoff run with them in the first round.
I hate to say it. I have somebody I really like, and I don't want to like him.
It's Zeev Bouillon, isn't it?
Zeev Bouillon at 27 to 1. I mean, that seems crazy. He already played in the playoffs for the Wild, and while defensively he obviously has his issues, he's got a really good offensive game. I would be very intrigued by Bouillon at 27 to 1.
Yeah, I also kind of like Zane Parekh there at 25 to 1. I think he could have an easier path to power play 1 minutes there. He put up insane numbers in juniors. But Matthew Schaefer too at 22 to 1, first overall pick, already has some like puff pieces being written about him. If the Islanders make the playoffs, he plays big minutes.
He looked good in the preseason games against the Flyers too.
Yeah, had a few turnovers, but I think Matthew Schaefer 22 to 1. Someone in that range, but I do really think Demidov is just winning it at plus 180, but that's a bit too short to bet now unless you just want to ride it out.
Yeah, I agree. Vesna. Okay, yeah. Dan Vladar and Sam Ersson are all over it, right? Yeah. We don't even know who the starter is out of those two. And also, I don't like anybody in this category. It's a tight race. Hellebuyck, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, Ottinger, like. I don't really like anybody in this race.
Yeah, I'll stick with my stars theme. Ottinger at 15 to 1. I feel like he's going to win it one of these years. The stars should be really good. The voters give it to a goalie who has a lot of wins, so he could very easily. I think stars have a great season. He finally gets the Vezina.
Yeah, the Norris for best defenseman. Travis Sanheim is the only Flyers listed plus 50,000. So. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. No, we all love Sanheim, but he ain't a number one. I don't really, again, it's one of those, like, Makar's got overwhelming odds to, he's the overwhelming favorite. Yeah. Quinn Hughes, it's kind of a meh. Like, for the long-term bets, I like longer odds things because it's like, it's something you're putting down for fun, and then you're seeing it months later. Putting down something that's like even odds, it's like, who cares? Werenski at plus 1,000 is kind of interesting.
I think if he was going to win it, it would have been last year.
He was unbelievable last year.
Yeah, it's really just a 2-horse race. It's Cale Makar or Quinn Hughes. You need both of them to get hurt for anyone to have a chance, unless like you have an insane 100-point season out of Erik Karlsson, like when he won it, or Evan Bouchard at 30 to 1. But it's just Makar or Hughes at this point.
Yeah, they're just ridiculous. Rocket Richard, number one goal scorer. We mentioned this earlier, but Michkov, Konecny, and Tippett are all plus 30,000. Longest odds on the board. And if you're feeling spicy, man, Michkov has a nose for the net, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun with Zegras. And this is only like if you got some money burning a hole in your pocket and you just want to throw a couple bucks down on a real long shot. This is a real long shot. I don't think it's going to happen. It's a fun one to follow, though. It's a fun one to just see if he can do it. I don't think he's going to, especially looking at the guys who are favored, Draisaitl, Matthews. These guys are just unbelievable goal scorers. I mean, Matthews just had one of the the greatest goal scoring seasons of all time just a couple years ago.
Yeah, I do like McDavid. He said, I believe, that he wants to shoot more this season. He wants to score more, 16-1 there. I mean, goalies expect him to pass a lot, so if he takes more shots, you could see that. And yeah, you were talking about it, 300-1 for Michkov. Like our great friends at FanDuel give us give out free bets, boosts sometimes. So throw a $5 free bet on that. You can see what happens with that.
Great use of a free bet.
Yeah, but I think McDavid at 16-1 would be my favorite bet for the Rocket Richard.
Yeah, I like that one. I like Rantanen at 18-1, and I like Pasternak at 12-1.
Shout out Eichel again, 100-1. If he's the shooter and Marner is more of a setup man, I could see that happening.
Contact year, baby, getting ready to come to Philadelphia.
Yeah, indeed.
Art Ross, Michkov, and Konecny are 20,000 longest odds on the board yet again, and Art Ross is probably going to McDavid.
Yeah, McDavid. If you want to bet Kucherov for the Hart, just bet him for the Art Ross and take the geopolitical Russian factor out of it for voters not wanting to vote for him. He's plus 450. Kaprizov 13-1, kind of similar thing. Yeah, but McDavid plus 175 is plus 175 for a reason.
Last award we're going to talk about, because the Lady Bing is not something that you're a true degenerate if you're gambling on the Lady Bing, so don't do it. But the Selke, which is defensive forward of the year, no Flyers offered, and the Flyers actually have 3 really good defensive forwards in Sean Couturier, Noah Cates, and Tyson Forrester. A little surprising they didn't even get the super long odds on this one.
Yeah, I mean, next time we go out with our good friend FanDuel, go out to the bar, have a cold one, we're gonna have to talk to him. Why isn't my boy Sean Couturier offered for the Selke? Or once again, what do they know? What do they know?
Felony fraud right here. Felony fraud.
You could probably find them at other places potentially, and if it's like 100-1 or longer, I'd throw it on Sean Couturier. I don't think Noah Cates can quite put up the points, but Couturier is going to be playing with Konecny. Maybe you get Tippett on that line, and that comes a really great second line or top line even. So I'd take Couturier at a long shot.
Yeah, agreed. And then I see you've added one category in here for most hits.
Yes. You have Garnett Hathaway at 30-1 for most hits. I was looking up the hits leaders last season because it's hard to find out there.
It's the most exact stat in the game.
Hits
Ryan
leaders
Gilbert.
24. Kiefer Sherwood is the favorite at plus 135. He had 462 hits last year. Second place was Matthew Olivier with 306. So quite the golf there. But Hathaway had 257. I think the year before is what I was looking at when Hathaway was up there towards the top. Yeah, the year before, Jeremy Lauzon had 383. Hathaway came in second with 326. So if you want a fun Flyers bet, if you're one of these fans that loves Gary Hathaway, loves the hits, loves the fights, throw a few bucks on 30-1 there.
Why not? Hey, that's a fun one right there. Hits. I mean, hits is what it's all about, because the team ain't winning. So
we didn't give out our choices for the Selke, did we?
Oh, we did not talk about who actually would win it in the league. Yeah. So You've got Reinhardt as the favorite at 200. It's Barkov's out for the year. It would be Barkov otherwise. Hischier is 260, which seems almost too low. I feel like Hischier should be the favorite. Draisaitl at 500. Cirelli at 700 is an interesting one. Eichel at 1,200. Marner at 1,900. I like this one. Anze Kopitar at plus 20,000.
Yep. That's my favorite. Kopitar at 20-1. It's a legacy award. Last season, he's already announced the Kings are a very defensive team. They should make the playoffs. They rarely give it to a winger. Wouldn't mind Eichel at 12-1. I'd prefer him for the other stuff I mentioned though. But
if I'm taking a night, I'm taking Mark Stone at 3,500.
He's going to be hurt. He's always hurt. He's always hurt now. I think he's starting the year, but he seems like a guy that last year played 66 games. Year before 56, 43, 37. And wingers don't win it. That's just.
But he's the only one because he's got a reputation now. Yeah. Like he has a reputation for being a very good defensive winger. So I'm intrigued by that one, but yeah, I agree with you. Kopitar's the best bet by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, to wrap things up here today, Gilbs. So overall, we like the Tocchet bet a lot at
Yep.
2,500. You just have to leave the state of Pennsylvania, apparently. And I am a big fan of getting Michkov I'm thinking the 80 plus point range. I think that's a solid one right there. Yeah, I think those are
Yeah.
my two favorites on the day.
Yeah, Tocchet 25-1 for Jack Adams, 20-1 if whatever you can find out there is fine. Michkov 80 plus points, 270. Zegras 70 plus points, 370.
I was going to say that one.
I
Yeah.
like quite a bit as well. And then first round playoff elimination at plus 470, I think is a pretty good bet.
Yeah, I agree. So those are your big ones on the day. Sure hope you enjoyed this little bet preview of the season, and of course, please gamble responsibly out there. It is do not just be stupid with your money. We've heard too many tragedies like that. It's just for us, we just like doing it, have a little fun, just give a little extra spice to the games we're already enjoying.
Yeah, absolutely. There. Yeah. So gamble responsibly. Hopefully, this helped you out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks again to FanDuel for sponsoring the show. Be sure to check out our regular podcast that we have going on. I host Flyperbole. We're going to see what the schedule's looking like for this upcoming season because I'm going to be very busy, but at worst, it'll be coming out every couple weeks, but we should be pretty regular with the schedules. We always are. Host that with Ryan Quigley, and we always had a darn good time talking to Reverend and hockey. Why don't you talk about the BSH podcast for a minute there, Gilbs?
Yeah, Bros Rocky podcast. We're gonna do it weekly. Me and Joe De Marini, the Italian Joe, Bean Boy, whatever you want to call it. Bean Boy and Legume Lad, as I heard on his Flyperbole appearance last week, was pretty good. But yeah, Bros Rocky podcast gonna be weekly, probably early in the week, and gonna be a bunch of like quick hits on YouTube and stuff too throughout the season. So make sure you guys are subscribed there to the YouTube as well as, of course, the podcast feed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make sure you're liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. And if you are rating on the podcast feeds, be sure to give us an old 5-star rating and all that fun stuff. But we do really appreciate everybody's support and everything. We're going to have a really fun season. We have some great content ahead on broadstreethockey.com. So be sure to subscribe over there as well. And just follow us on all the social media platforms. I'm very active on Blue Sky, and I'm very active on Instagram and a little bit on the TikTok, just a little bit. So you can find clips from the show and stuff like that there. Gilbs, where can people, it's Flyperbole on all those mediums, by the way. Gilbs, where can people find you on the socials?
Yeah, you can follow me on Blue Sky at RyanGilbert.bsky.social. Really trying to get some good hockey talk over there this season to break up everything else going on, because it's a distraction. Hockey's a distraction for us, and if we can be distracted for a little bit from what's going on in the world, it's always a good time.
It's always a good time. We're having fun over there. We need more people to join us from the bad place. Come over and join us, but we're having a good time. So come on over. We're talking some puck on there, but thanks so much, guys. It's been a lot of fun talking about this, and we have many more podcasts and videos coming this week. So be sure to check all that out. But all right, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks so much. And until next time, in the words of the great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.